Books that nurture intelligence and strengthen family bonds. Bonding through books together. Welcome to today's program. Books have long been regarded as humanity's priceless treasure trove of knowledge, silent companions that offer immeasurable value. In this episode, we will explore the amazing benefits of reading, not only for each of us as individuals but also for the little angels in our families. Before diving into the details, let's take a quick look at the main points we'll be discussing. First, reading offers surprising benefits for brain development, helping us think more sharply and enhancing empathy and understanding. Second, reading acts as a mental remedy, reducing stress, improving sleep, and even easing symptoms of depression. And most importantly for parents, reading with children not only builds a strong language foundation and sparks curiosity, but also becomes a wonderful bridge for emotional bonding, nurturing a child's inner world. Let's dive deeper together. Reading, the golden key to holistic development. A stronger brain, page by page. Have you ever wondered what happens inside the brain when we read? In reality, reading is like a workout for the brain. Numerous scientific studies have shown that reading significantly boosts our cognitive abilities. Using a modern imaging technique called MRI, magnetic resonance imaging, researchers have observed the inner workings of the brain. A 2014 study revealed that reading activates a complex network of circuits and signals in the brain. The more proficient a reader becomes, the stronger and more intricate these neural networks grow, just like how exercising strengthens our muscles. Reading builds the muscles of the brain. Another study in 2013 followed participants as they read a novel over 9 days. The results were surprising. As the plot thickened, brain activity increased as well. MRI images showed stronger connectivity, especially in the somatosensory cortex, the part of the brain that processes sensations like movement and pain. This means that when we read, we don't just understand the story intellectually, we actually feel it with our senses. Reading to understand and love more deeply. Beyond intelligence. Did you know that reading is a powerful way to enhance empathy? Immersing ourselves in literary novels and exploring the intricate inner worlds of characters helps us see life through someone else's eyes. Researchers have found that frequent readers of literary fiction are better at understanding others' emotions and thoughts. This ability, known as theory of mind, is essential for forming and maintaining healthy social relationships. While reading a single novel may not spark dramatic change, consistent reading over time significantly strengthens this skill, making us more compassionate and understanding toward those around us. Expanding knowledge with a rich vocabulary. One of the most precious gifts books offer is a rich vocabulary. Studies confirm that children exposed to books and reading from an early age tend to accumulate much more extensive vocabularies. This not only helps them score higher on academic tests but also significantly affects their future learning opportunities and career prospects. Just think, when communicating or writing, having a broad vocabulary helps us express ideas clearly, flexibly, and persuasively. A 2019 survey even found that nearly 70% of employers prioritize candidates with strong soft skills, especially effective communication. And reading is one of the most natural ways to enrich our vocabulary through contextual exposure to new words. Reading, a soothing balm for the soul. Modern life often leaves us feeling stressed and exhausted. But did you know that just 30 minutes of reading a day can help relieve this pressure? A 2009 study compared the effects of reading, yoga, and humor therapy on stress reduction among medical students. The results showed that reading lowered blood pressure, heart rate, and feelings of distress as effectively as yoga or hearty laughter. Amazing, isn't it? Fall asleep peacefully with the help of books. If you often struggle with sleep, consider adding reading to your nighttime routine. Doctors at the Mayo Clinic, a reputable medical center, recommend reading as a great way to relax and prepare for restful sleep. However, one small tip: opt for printed books instead of digital devices like phones or tablets. The blue light from screens can make us more alert and interfere with sleep. Moreover, studies show that readers of print books tend to understand and retain information better. Likely because we read more slowly and carefully on paper. If you still find it hard to sleep, doctors advise reading in a space other than the bedroom. Finding comfort and strength in books during depression. British philosopher Sir Roger Scruton once said, "The consolation of imaginary things is not imaginary consolation." For those experiencing depression, feelings of loneliness and isolation are common. Reading, especially fiction, can provide a temporary escape. Immersed in a story, we live alongside the characters, experience a range of emotions, and momentarily step away from our own struggles. Because of this, the UK's National Health Service launched a meaningful initiative called the Reading Well program. In it, health professionals prescribe self-help books, guides tailored to personal challenges for specific individuals. This initiative highlights the significant role reading plays in supporting mental well-being. Reading with your child, a journey of connection and nurturing the soul. Now, let's turn to a truly meaningful part of this journey, especially for parents. Why is reading with your child so powerful? It's not just about teaching your child how to read, it's about building a strong foundation for their future and deepening your family bond. Language sprouts from lullabies and story pages. From the moment they are born, children have a remarkable ability to acquire language. Regular exposure to different types of language helps them maximize this potential. Dr. Laura Phillips, a psychologist at the Child Mind Institute, states, "Exposure to words is the single most important thing parents can do to help build a language pathway in a child's brain." When parents read to their children, even when they're still infants who can't yet speak, they are laying the first building blocks for their child's language and literacy skills. Books introduce a wealth of vocabulary and grammar that may not show up in everyday conversations. They open up a world of language, helping children broaden their understanding and expression. A compelling study found that children who are read to daily are exposed to at least 290,000 more words than those who aren't, before they even enter kindergarten. If you read more often, that number can exceed 1,000,000 words. This rich vocabulary bank becomes a valuable tool for learning at school and in life. Books also provide a vast base of general knowledge, from geography and transportation to nature and countless other topics. Even small pieces of information give your child helpful context for understanding new material at school and make it easier to learn unfamiliar concepts. Fostering empathy and emotional intelligence through stories. Beyond language, books are a powerful tool for nurturing empathy and emotional awareness. When children hear stories about characters who live different lives, especially when told from the character's point of view, they learn to appreciate others' emotions and begin to understand diverse cultures, lifestyles, and perspectives. Books also help children learn to handle their own emotions in healthy ways. When they see characters experience feelings like anger or sadness, they realize those emotions are normal. These are perfect moments for parents to talk with their children about tough feelings they may be experiencing too. You might ask, have you ever felt angry like the character in this story? What would you do if that happened? These conversations help children build a toolkit for managing their emotions positively. The invisible thread that binds family together. There's nothing more heartwarming than the moment a family gathers to enjoy a book together. These cozy times bring not only joy but also support your child's brain development. Especially in the early years. Sensory experiences, like sitting in a parent's lap, hearing a familiar voice, and feeling the pages of a book, are vital to a child's brain development. As Dr. Phillips explains, hearing a book read aloud by a virtual assistant doesn't bring the same benefits as hearing it from a parent. Physical closeness and the warmth of a shared reading moment activate neurons in the brain, enhancing language learning and cognitive growth. Which books should we explore together? Many parents wonder, what should I read to my child? Dr. Phillips notes that while reading benefits children at any age, the benefits vary depending on their stage of development. For infants, parents can read anything, even a newspaper article. At this stage, the key is simply exposing the child to the sounds of words and sentences. As children grow older, content becomes more important. Choose books that reflect your child's life experiences to spark meaningful conversations. Books can become bridges for discussing what your child is going through or introducing new topics in a gentle, engaging way. And of course, it's always a great idea to let children choose books they're drawn to. When kids are allowed to follow their interests, reading becomes more enjoyable and rewarding, helping them form a lifelong habit. Don't be surprised if your toddler insists on reading the same book over and over again. This is completely normal. Repetition helps young children master language. And even when your child learns to read independently, don't stop reading together. Kids often enjoy listening to books with more complex content than they can read themselves. Reading together throughout the elementary years supports literacy skills and offers a continued chance to bond as your child grows more independent. Reading in any language is invaluable. Dr. Phillips emphasizes that all of these benefits hold true no matter what language you use. Many multilingual families worry that reading to children in a non-school language might hinder their performance in school. But experts encourage parents to read in whatever language they're most comfortable with. The cognitive benefits children gain in one language carry over to all the languages they speak or read. Print or digital books? Which is better? Today, many children's books are available in digital format. But do ebooks offer the same benefits as printed books? That remains a debated topic. Some studies show that parents and children have more meaningful interactions when reading printed books. Both kids and adults tend to skim faster on screens, which can make it harder to slow down and absorb the story. That said, you don't have to avoid ebooks entirely. In situations where printed books are less accessible, like during travel, digital books can be a convenient way to introduce new stories and content. What matters most is making time to read meaningfully with your child. Regardless of the format, sitting down together, discussing the story, and sharing your thoughts and feelings is what truly makes reading valuable. What does effective reading look like? Finally, don't pressure yourself to make reading perfect. Reading at the same time every day, like before bed, can be comforting and help establish a consistent habit. But any time spent sharing language and connecting through stories is valuable. Remember, children don't develop in a straight line. There may be phases when your child is focused on physical development and doesn't want to sit still for a story. Be flexible and responsive, rather than forcing reading time, to avoid turning it into a negative experience. If your little one is in an exploring phase and won't sit still, you can simply read aloud by yourself. They may become curious and join you. You can point out a few words, make a few comments. They might grab the book or go back to playing. Just letting them hear your voice and experience language naturally is already a wonderful gift. We hope today's sharing has given you a deeper understanding of the surprising benefits of reading and the importance of walking this journey alongside your child. Reading isn't just a good habit, it's a priceless gift we can offer ourselves and our loved ones. Wishing you joyful and meaningful reading moments ahead.